Subcultures. Any of you who have, like, certainly anyone from Boxers heard me spout off about subcultures a lot, but I'm going to do it, quickly here. Just a quick definition. It's a self-perpetuating group with shared values and norms that are distinct from the majority. So this could be the subculture of your company versus the larger corporate environment. It could be the subculture of this group of people here versus all the hotel goers. It's really anything. I'm going to start with an example, the LA Leggers. I know Andrew knows who these guys are because you see them running around Santa Monica all the time, okay? So here's a picture I grabbed off the internet. Here's some Leggers. You can see it's a pretty diverse group. They've all got their t-shirt that says Leggers. They have these kind of Garmin wristwatch runner things on. There's different races and ages. They have shoes that were probably custom fitted by someone who knows about running shoes, at the running shoe store. And there's a guy who started this thing like in the late 80s. It's been around for a long time. There's thousands of people who are part of the LA Leggers. They've got a board of directors. Okay, if you're getting into this whole thing, you got to learn the lingo. So there's a whole terminology thing going on. What's a sweeper? What's a pacer? What are the hand signals? And then you can join them. They have you can be part of this thing. They've got parties and events and stuff, and so that's the LA Leggers, a very successful, self-perpetuating subculture. And if we look at all the things that are going on there, we start with, like, what is it that they're doing? In this case, they're runners, okay? And then we add things like, well, they've got a mythology that people know, and there's roles within it, not just like board of directors, but I'm a pacer, or I'm someone who works with new people. I'm a sweeper. There's specialized equipment, expert knowledge. Argo is just a word for a vocabulary that's used by a small group. Okay, you've got to know the lingo. I've got a friend who's really into running, and I sat while she was talking to some of her friends, and they kept talking about their PR. And I was like, you mean you guys are like doing public relations for your running stuff? And any runners in here know what PR means? Personal record, that's right. So they talk about their PR. If I don't know what PR means, I'm clearly not part of the group, right? Having a specialized language is important. There's status within the group, not just because you're on the board, but like if you're fast or if you've been there for a long time. There's events, relationships, clear successes. Okay, I ran the marathon. I broke my PR, whatever. And at the end, what you have is this self-perpetuating group with shared norms and values. And most important is that people gain something from being a part of it. Okay, it becomes part of their identity. It's a positive experience. People seek out subcultures and they get value from their association with them. Okay, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the Wausau Bird Club. Okay, same exact stuff going on. The skateboarding community, not as formalized. There's no website for the skateboarding community and where they have a Facebook page, but all that same stuff exists there. And it exists in the same way for the accounting department. And this is where it gets interesting. If we're thinking about doing things in our company, if we're thinking about making change, about evolving, we can create a subculture and leverage what we know about how that subculture works to get where we want to go. And by the way, that subculture is going to exist whether you consciously create it or not. The thing is, do you want it to happen randomly? Or do you want to exert some influence to create that set of norms and values and behaviors that you want? And I think the answer is pretty clear. So when I think about what can we do in our company to get to a certain point, a lot of what I'm thinking about is this, is like, what can we do to support, to provide the building blocks for a subculture? Those things where they want to have underwater life, they dump some concrete blocks and then the reef kind of builds around it. That's what we're talking about. It's like, what things can we put into the company to create that subculture? And if part of our subculture is the stuff that we're talking about measuring things, being flexible, trying new things, being experimental, this is the way we move that needle.